back like we never left here at the Rebirth TV Summit. I'm here with a great friend of mine, Ms. Sylvia Meyers. Ms. Sylvia Meyers, she's a CEO, author, speaker, and trauma recovery advocate dedicated to empowering women to heal, rise, and reclaim their stories. As the founder of Sylvia Yvonne Consulting and Simplified Tax Solutions in Company LLC, she blends her expertise in tax, accounting, and entrepreneurship with her passion for helping others overcome rejection trauma, mental health struggles, and emotional wounds. A proud co-author of Rebirth, Stories of Unyielding Courage, Sylvia shares her powerful journey of faith, resilience, and transformation after facing depression, domestic violence, and caregiving challenges. She now inspires others to turn pain into purpose through coaching, consulting, and community outreach. Rooted in prayer and her unwavering faith in Jesus Christ, Sylvia leads with authenticity, compassion, and a deep belief that every setback holds the power for a greater comeback. And I love that. I love that so much. I can't wait to get going. Are you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. We're going to jump right at the beginning, Sylvia, okay? I want you to tell us what life was like before your transformation. So, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, really help us feel where you were.
Let's go back as the Bible says, in the beginning, there was light. There wasn't no light for me. Um, I went through a time of darkness even as a child. Um, but let's start where I first didn't know. I was unaware of, even though I went through all of these things, all these different experiences in my life. I was once just the type of person that did not even want to get in front of uh, of a of art view of audience of anything. You would not catch me even doing what I'm doing right now. Um, I met a classmate who hadn't seen me in over 20 years because I made a vow that once I left high school that I would never return, that this would be the last time that any of my classmates would see me. That's one thing. The second thing was is that her partner was listening to me talk and tell a story of not wanting to see any of my classmates. And she was like, wow, you've been traumatized. I walked away not knowing what was traumatized. I walked away not even knowing that I had lived a life of traumatized person because I went through as a child being bullied, being rejected, being called all sorts of names, being mocked on how I speak, um, just numerous of things through childhood. Not only that, I had to go through a life of seeing my mother being going through fights with my dad. These things that I'm talking about now, I didn't want to talk about. I suppressed those feelings. Not only that, I suppressed all the feelings that I dealt with as a child. Not only that, I had to deal with the life of going through dealing with trying to understand why my brother was murdered. Um, why would someone that, or why would people that I did not see as a different color, or anything? I didn't see color, but why would they kill my brother? Why would they murder my brother? Not only that, I had to go through losing three other siblings. So I went through a life of trauma when I didn't even know that I was traumatized. I was unaware of what that was or what that looked like. So I went through all of that in my life. So that is where I kind of had to go backwards because June of 2023 is when my life really start lightening up. Things start happening. Even though I had challenges with my health, female issues, Um, I went through that, but it kind of reoccurred, and I didn't want to go back through it again in June of 2023. That was devastating to me. I didn't want to go back and feel those, go back through the pain or go back through surgery. I didn't want to do that. And then moving forward to August of 2023 is when I actually revisited a breakup that literally took me out of here. I went into depression. Family didn't even know what was happening. I would go and isolate myself, wouldn't go nowhere. Still, they didn't know what was happening to me. I then also, let me roll back just a bit. 2018, my mother has two aneurysms. She survived those aneurysms, but she could no longer take care of herself. So now I'm in corporate America, got this wonderful job, then went to college and got this amazing degree in environmental science, doing the things that I wanted to do. Now I have to resign from that position to take care of my mother. So 2019, again, that was another change for me. So all of these emotional roller coasters happened through me throughout life, okay, throughout my life. So I'm here now in in August of 2023, and my life really changed, and it started the beginning of my life start changing, and it opened up to the rebirth.
And that's such a progression there, Sylvia. It's like, when you have all these things happening to you, perception is reality. And so when you're seeing life in just this constant state of depression and problems and things that are just not going your way, truly you're never going to really see life in a different way because that's all you know. And so to not know the word to associate traumatized with that state of life, to you, it's like, this is just life for me. And then now you're at this point where there is a rebirth and there is something that's bringing a new perception to light. And that brings us to our next question. What was that breaking or turning point? And was there a major moment or situation in particular that forced your change? Tell us what happened.
Yeah. So what was the breaking point? The breaking point was, of course, the resurgence of the female issue that like every female has is well, I'm not gonna say every, but a lot of us experience fibroids. And that brings about a lot of bleeding in your body. Well, it brought a lot of bleeding to my life. It also affected my knees, my legs. I could barely walk, but yet I had to take care of my mother. So, with that being said, I then thought, what in the world am I going to do? How am I going to lift up on my mom? And here I am, I'm hurting. Not only am I hurting, I'm emotionally hurting because now I've just found out that my partner, my love of my life that I thought was cheating on me. So now I'm devastated. So I got all of these emotional things going on. I got these physical things, medical things going on. I just didn't know what else could happen or what else could I do to change my circumstances. That is when I then had to reach out to someone to help me. My cry, I call it a cry for help. I needed someone to come and rescue me because I didn't know what to do.
Absolutely. It's like, you're at a point where now you're hitting a wall. And not only is it the physical, but it's also now the mental. And both of these aspects of life are not in good water. And so you're at this breaking point and now you're having to reach out for help. There's something that needs to give. What did your transformation feel like when you were crying for that help and you ended up receiving it? Take us through the internal process here, Sylvia, the
So
fears, the breakthroughs,
now that I'm at that
healing.
point, now that I'm at that point, I reached out to a friend. I asked her, I said, look, I don't know what's happening. I know that all through my life that I can see the signs of the different cycles, the different patterns that's happening in my life. Something is off here. Something is off in my life and I need help. And that's when I was introduced to a prayer group. That prayer group then opened up a lot of things for me because there was a prophet there. that kind of saw into my life. And he spoke things into my life that no one else knew but God. And that is where my actual life begun spiritually, far as knowing truly that God was there, knowing truly that he was listening to me even when I was in those dark rooms, and I was crying out to him, asking him for help. He sent some help. And in that group, I was able to learn how to pray. In that group, I learned how to connect to God. In that group, I learned so much about how to read the Bible and truly get into it. All my life, I've been in church. All my life, I've been around people that was in church. But this here was a difference. It was something moving different. It was something shifting in my life that did not happen all those years before. And this time the light was coming open. I felt joy. I felt peace that was coming into my life. And I felt understanding of why certain things were happening.
I love that, Sylvia. It's you've been in the church before, right? But there was something different this time, and I love the words truth. I love that word. You found the truth in what it meant to be in the church and in this part of the group. And through that truth, you're now able to perceive a new shift and move forward from that. Who or what supported your journey? Did you have people in this group, the faith, tools, and practices that helped carry you through when you found this truth?
Yes. Once I found the truth, the one thing that helped me was the group one. Then there was another prophet that I came across. She definitely opened up, I mean, just opened up the light into my life. I was able to now understand the dreams that I was having, the spiritual warfares that I was having. I was now able to understand that. So there was definitely people in the church. There was definitely a one individual that would constantly call me and pray with me, that actually helped me through the process. But that shift, one and the one main shift that I have to say was when I actually took time for myself to actually really get along and pray and be with the Father and have that relationship with Him and allow Him to speak to me and me actually hear Him. That is what really turned my life and changed my life. Even though I had all of these people supporting me, the one thing that I can say that truly helped me was definitely spending that time with God, building that relationship with God, hearing Him, knowing that I was hearing from Him, and praying and knowing how to pray. Because a lot of times, a lot of us are we say that we're praying, but we really don't know how to pray. The praying a lot of times is just speaking with Him and just talking with Him. But getting on your knees and crying out to God and being vulnerable to Him, He will speak to you and allow you to know what to do, how to do it, and what is going on in your life.
And that right there, Sylvia, pays such an homage to the verse when he talks about how true praying is not just being in a group and singing songs and sitting in the pews and reading the book. It's closing yourself in the closet, really just finding your sense of truth and your sense of oneness and really connecting with God by yourself. And through that, that's how you can ultimately speak and find what he has to say to you. So tell us where you are now on your journey. How has your life changed and what's ultimately different?
I'm in reset because that one person that I was taking care of, I'm now lost. So now I'm going back through another shift, another transformation. I lost my mother on May 3rd of this year. And that has literally turned my life upside down. So now I'm going back through the same process and trying to figure out what I need, what can I do? I was a caregiver for 7 years for my mother. So now I'm at reset is what I call it. Because now I got to go through the process of grieving. Everything in your life is a process. When you watching your loved one take their last breath, and it's nothing that you can do for them. You kind of actually sit there and you watch them have that all the air in them leave them. That is a process. Now you got to go through the process of grieving that person. So that is where I'm at right now. I can't say all these wonderful, great things right now because I got to get through the grieving process of what is next. And so that's what I'm really asking God. What is next for Sylvia?
What is next for Sylvia? It's ultimately it's that transformation, right? Life is constantly in a state of flux, and we know that even when we're seemingly at a place of peace, or at least more peace than before, life can always do something to shift that. And ultimately we have to still stay grounded and find our way of taking this transformation and then also transforming ourselves to where now we can still be at that place of peace. Sylvia, how are you using your experience to help others, businesses, mission, work? What are you doing today because of what you've been through?
Well, what I would like to do is get to a place where I'm okay first. Because the grieving process is really taking a toll. So I would like to get in a place where I can help other people continue on, one, as a caregiver. I want people to understand that caregivers need to be noticed. They need to be noticed. Why? Because it's a mental thing that you go through. It's an up and down thing that you go through being a caregiver. Two, as being a person that had a career in corporate America, you really don't know what to do sometimes. You really don't know if that's what you want to go back to. Three, I want to be able to continue to help entrepreneurs come to the light of if you have any type of mental issues, first work on that because you cannot really fulfill your role as helping other people or other entrepreneurs. Because some what I realized is that I had a lot of blocks. I had a lot of blocks that didn't move or didn't propel me into being this great, wonderful businesswoman that I wanted to be or that I am. I feel like I am a wonderful business owner, but at the same time, I was going through a process of where I did not know what those blocks were keeping me from even being where I am right now. And that's speaking to you. I feel like that I should be speaking to the world. But at the same token, I had to deal with a lot of mental things that were blocking me from being that person. So I want to be able to one day get to a point where I'm speaking on stages and telling people to first deal with your own issues, no matter what that is. Deal with your own issues how you can. Take your time and get to that place where you can deal with your own issue and recognize your own issues, identify with them, and deal with them through prayer.
Absolutely,
Through prayer.
through prayer. Because ultimately, Sylvia, it's like you can't help anybody else if you haven't helped yourself. Because ultimately, if you have blockages in that you can't get through, how could you possibly project being of a place of help, right? And so you have to go in and find that truth and find that oneness, and that's what makes the helper that much stronger and that much more empathetic. Sylvia, what message do you have for someone who's still stuck or in pain?
If you're still stuck and in pain, get help. Reach out for help. Reach out, rather it's your church, rather it's someone close to you that you can confident and privately speak with. Speak to somebody. Let it all out. Don't suppress it like I did for years. And then don't wait till you get in your 40s, your late 40s, 50s, 60s, and you are you dealing with all type of mental issues and you don't know how to get out of it, right? So I would love for people to try to tackle these things early on than rather to wait till they get older and they having to deal with those mental issues or those traumas at the age of 50 and on. So I would say first, mix the two of God and prayer and therapy. Mix all three of those up and get help.
It's a great point. It's like, the more someone lets these issues manifest, all it can do is just compile with all the other things that life's flux brings. And so tackling it head on and really getting the help that you need in the way that you can digest, you can take action, and you can adapt. That's the key right there. It's a fantastic point.
Mhm.
If someone's listening who's where you used to be, Sylvia, what do you want to tell them?
I want them to tell them, come out, come out of the darkness, come to the light. Seek help. Don't think that you're alone. There's someone that care for you. There's someone that'll hear you. Reach out for help. Come out of the darkness. Don't stay isolated. Come out and get help. No matter if they were, it happened when you were young. Just know that someone will hear you. Someone will hear you. You got a voice. Speak out.
Seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be opened unto you.
Yes.
Sylvia, as we close this up here, is there anything you'd like to leave us with?
No, all I would like to leave you with is this. I want to first thank, oh my God, thank Lima McLean for the opportunity to be on this type of platform, and for all of the speakers thus far. Your stories are amazing. Know that you are awesome. Know that God that loves you, and know that prayer is number one. You can get through anything through prayer. That's what I like to leave you with.
Beautifully said and well put. I love it, Sylvia. Ladies and gentlemen, three things. Three things. Number one, here it is. Reach out. Don't stay stuck. Don't stay stuck. If you stay stuck, you stay stagnant, you can never be a beacon to help other people. That brings us to number two. Help yourself before you can help others. When you truly understand yourself, then you can truly empathize with that pain that someone else is going through. You need to help yourself before you help others. And number three is everything can be done through prayer. Understand truly how to pray. And that word truth resonates right here. Truth. You find truth, you will find prayer, and through prayer, you will find yourself.
Yeah.
Sylvia, this was a pleasure to interview you here. This is Miss Sylvia Meyers right here, everybody. Thank you all for joining us here on Rebirth Summit TV. It has been an absolute pleasure, and we're looking forward to seeing all of the help and service that you will be providing in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Sylvia Meyers.
Thank you. Thank you, Christopher.